All right, Warriors, why would you listen to a guy with a beard and long hair? Well, let me tell you a little bit about my history. So, for the past 15 years, 12 of it, I was in banking and I moved up into executive banking. I went through CBA Executive Banking School. Now, I understand banking at a very deep level. That's why I jumped out head first into creating a Warrior Academy where I teach mind, body immunity, and how to build generational wealth. Understanding where we're heading, not where we're at. I've been able to connect the dots for the last 9 years looking at the World Economic Forum, the IMF, history. And I'll tell you what, Warriors, as you look at a pandemic right here, there's been a narrative planned for a long time, specifically since about 1971. And you have to understand, we have not had a new asset class since the 1600s. So imagine a world if you were back in the 1600s and someone came to you and said, hey, they're starting this new thing called the stock market. You should get involved. Well, guess what? Those are the richest people in the world. And then Henry Ford comes out with this affordable car, and people got into gas and oil. Those are the richest people in the world. And right now, you're having the biggest shift in generational wealth. It's the uncommon 1%. The shift from the Industrial Revolution to the Fourth Industrial Revolution, from industrial to technical. And those you people on my TikTok that keep saying nothing happened on the 21st, well, we shift from Capricorn to Aquarius, which is Earth to air technology. The time is now, Warriors. So why am I sharing this stuff with you guys? Because I have a deep knowledge in banking. I also am tired of seeing 1% of the population own 97% of the wealth. And I'm trying to wake up as many warriors as I can to see that they have the power inside them. I'm not asking you to believe a word I say. I'm asking you to learn how to fish, Warriors. Let me repeat that. I'm not asking you to follow me or believe in a word I say. I'm asking you to get your fishing pole out. Let me open up your mind and awareness and take this computer or your phone and truly make it a smartphone. Let's stop watching the WAP videos. Let's stop watching reality shows and let's change our family's future. Once we have the generational wealth, then you can sit back and relax for a little bit, Warriors. But right now is the time to activate. So I'm going to take you through what Russia's saying about the SWIFT system. Now, if the reason why I'm so confident in XRP, why I didn't even, I'm not an XRP maximalist. People say Bitcoin maxis, XRP maxi, right? I have a broad portfolio. I have Bitcoin in my portfolio, Ethereum in my portfolio, XRP, VeChain, XLM, ADA. I have Link. I have VeChain. These are all things I have a very solid portfolio. But I'll tell you what, when regulations coming in, that's what we want. It's coming. People don't want regulation in cryptocurrency. But I'll tell you what. Think about it, Warriors. The more quicker regulation comes, the quicker the coins are going to moon. And I'll tell you what, thousands of coins are going to disappear. All the ones I mentioned are going to be solid projects. So when you're investing in a coin, you're investing in a company. So I'm going to break down these articles and I'm going to show you how there's a political theater going on. Do you remember during Christmas, all of a sudden they announced that they're suing, the SEC is suing Ripple XRP, okay? Now let me show you the political theater that's going on. But first we're going to start with what Russia said about digital currencies, okay? Digital currencies may make SWIFT redundant, says Russian Bank's central report. Digital currencies may challenge and someday could make redundant the SWIFT global banking system. According to Central Bank of Russia official, Russia reported on today, that was the 26th. Given the pace of development of central bank currencies, CBDCs, several countries may launch one in the next 5 years to 7 years. I think it's going to be within the next 24 months. According to First Deputy Governor Olga, can't even pronounce her name. Then we can deal with the direct integration issues, okay? In this case, SWIFT, it may not be necessary because it will be different kind of technology interaction. That's really important to understand. That's all I want to read about this article because it's going to be a different type of, they're telling you right here, it's going to be a technology type interaction. The old archaic SWIFT system was created 50 years ago, guys. You can't go into the quantum financial system on the same banking rails. You have to have a solve. Who is the solve? XRP, XLM. That's why I haven't flinched. It's the weak retail investors that bailed when the SEC investigation came or lawsuit came, they bailed because I'll tell you what, the big money put more money in, and I'm going to share with you why. Okay, so Russia's already announcing or saying that the SWIFT system may not be necessary. Now listen to this, okay? So you just saw what Russia said. Now listen to what he says.
Bulk of XRP sales were to institutional investors. And as this transitions away from retail to institutions who start to use it for wholesale, financial usage, that's when the turning point will come. Correct. Bulk of XRP sales were to institutional investors. And as this transitions away from retail to institutions who start to use it for wholesale, financial usage, that's when the turning point will come. Got it.
So what he's saying is this right here. When banks have to use a system like XRP, because the SWIFT system is an old archaic banking system, the institutional investors are going to suck up XRP and the price is going to skyrocket. You have to be strong to understand this stuff, whereas you can't be like a feather in the wind when news comes, boom, you shoot off. But I'm going to show you the political theater, and I believe they're trying to shake out the retail investors. Okay, so you guys heard that Jay Clayton put a lawsuit against XRP, or Ripple, against Ripple, about XRP being a security, or traded as a security, or however they did that, right? But isn't it interesting, right after he did the lawsuit, was he used as the person to start this or whatever? He leaves and announces he's leaving that Wednesday, the day after it's announced. When he was supposed to leave at the end of this month, he leaves, and now they usher in the new SEC chairman, who is cryptocurrency friendly. Think about that. So Jay Clayton throws the last football touchdown, right, to usher in the regulation, throws out the lawsuit, shakes out the retail investors. Institutional investors invest more money. Did you remember if you watch my videos, the rich list, the big money went up and all the weak investors went running out. A bunch of you guys sold your bags and ran for the hills, right? Did you see a bunch of that money flood into Bitcoin? Well, Warriors, listen to this stuff. Okay, so this is the ECNY event with Jay Clayton. Now, it's important to understand who this gentleman is who's talking to Jay Clayton right now, the political theater, okay? This is Glenn Hutchinson. He's a Ripple investor. Here they are sitting on stage January 12, 2020, and here they are talking on November 19th, 2020. But Jay Clayton just threw out a lawsuit and then says, see ya, I'm out, guys. And they usher in a cryptocurrency-friendly SEC chairman. Listen to what's said right here. Does this sound like, listen to what he says, does this sound like somebody who wants to sue a cryptocurrency company? It's all by design. It's a political theater to shake out the retail investors. Listen.
In setting an agenda going forward.
So Jay, before I ask my question to you, I want to just compliment John Williams on his leadership of the Economic Club of New York. I think it's an important role that the president of the Federal Reserve Bank in New York undertake. And so adds to his responsibilities. But John, thank you for doing this. Jay, one of the things, I think you gave yourself short shrift in your remarks for the extent to which you fostered innovation in the financial markets while you've been chairman, while protecting investors. As Harold suggested, and let's get to crypto, one of the maybe at the not the cutting edge but the bleeding edge of fintech innovation during your time period at the SEC has been cryptocurrencies. Uncharted territory which you've navigated with both those goals, investor protection but fostering innovation in mind. Tell us a little bit about that journey as you've been chairman of the SEC, and give us some sense of where you think it goes from here.
Well, thank you. A lot of that goes to the women and men on our staff who hit this head on. But look, when we arrived 3 years ago, the promise of this technology was becoming readily apparent. Unfortunately, the promise got channeled into an area where we have long-standing regulations that have worked really well. And that is that you can't make a widespread public offering of securities without going through the SEC registration process. And ICOs and the like essentially flaunted that. And look, I don't blame people for being motivated to try and take a new technology and raise money using it. But I was not going to be the chair that threw the 33 Act out after 85 years of success. So there you have it. But that said, incredibly powerful technology for the financial sector. I mean, it's technology that greatly reduces the costs of verification. It's technology that greatly reduces the costs of information transmission. And it's technology that can drive some of the inefficiencies out of our system. So that's where we are today. Comply with the securities laws, but, push the technology forward. And the area that is of particular interest to me and many of those
So what that tells me right there, supply or comply with the securities laws, but push it forward. Does that sound like somebody who wants to stop crypto? If they take out XRP or Ripple, they take out the whole crypto space, Warriors. You have to understand that. This is a narrative to tell people the ICOs or these ICOs that aren't reporting it to the SEC, these weak coins are going to get wrecked. That's what this is about. You have to be invested in real world solved cryptocurrencies. What he's telling you is they're going to be involved in cryptocurrencies, regulations coming in fast, and this was all part of the narrative.
Regulators that Gary mentioned is the payment system. We all recognize that our payment system is inefficient. Domestically, it's inefficient. Internationally, it's extremely inefficient.
What does that tell you, Warriors? He's telling you right there. We recognize that our payment system is inefficient. Do you think they're going to move into something new? Yes.
So if we don't work and use technology to address those inefficiencies, the market is going to do it for us.
Boom. If we don't do it, the market's going to do it for us. They're literally telling you where you're going, Warriors. This is on November 19th, 2020. They're just moving it in quicker with regulation.
And I think we'll like the outcome much better if we as regulators proactively enter that payment space, ensuring that all the time proven safeguards around AML, bank secrecy, anti-terrorism, and
American Money Laundering Act,
the like are there. So I see significant promise going forward, Glenn.
Boom, significant promise. Okay, now Glenn, gosh, look, guys, it's a narrative. It's a huge narrative. They're ushering in cryptocurrency. Okay, so that's Glenn. Glenn is a Ripple investor. I want to give a shout out really quickly. I want to make sure I do my due diligence. I got that from, it says David Schwartz, XRP. I think that's who did this. The credit is Bank XRP, so go ahead and follow them on Twitter. Okay, so let's go over here to Ripple investor Glenn Hutchinson, sitting next to the SEC Jay Clayton, Gary Cohn, State of Securities Market. So this is Glenn Hutchinson. He's a Ripple investor sitting right next to Jay Clayton. Guys, do you think, okay, just listen.
We're going to talk about where the markets are.
I wasn't told I had any choice being here, Gary. How about you?
I'm in a similar camp.
Okay, good.
I wasn't going to admit it
got an order from the chairman.
So when the SEC calls, you still come?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We're okay.
Especially you, Jay.
Okay.
Does that look like they're pals? I think so.
I could think of two better people to give us an assessment of where we are and where we're going in terms of market function and the risks and opportunities we face. So just thank you both very much for being here. So let's get right into it. Glenn, you founded Silver Lake 2 decades ago, and you had a belief that the power of technology was underestimated, that it was going to transform our economy. How do you think technology is affecting our markets today? Where is it going to be 10 years from now? Your thoughts? I mean, this has been a driver of your investing philosophy for years.
Sure. So for people who don't know, I've invested. I was into fintech before fintech was cool, and investing at the intersection of financial services and technology for the last 20 plus years. I helped to build companies such as Ameritrade, the NASDAQ stock market, and now Virtu, which is a high frequency market maker. And I think the biggest thing that's the biggest thing that happened in financial services technology over that time period, Gary and I had a conversation about this a couple of years ago, I recall, is when I first addressed these markets 20 years ago, cost of trading was for a retail investor an eighth to a quarter plus a commission. Mm-hmm. And you waited, you made a phone call, you waited a couple hours to see if you got the trade, and then you settled 5 days later, wasn't it? Something like that.
Yep.
Now at Virtu and across the markets, we trade securities in microseconds, which is a millionth of a second. The binding constraint is literally how fast you can move electrons. That's the binding constraint on how fast you can trade. And at less spreads that are less than a penny. And that means that the cost of trading has been reduced by 99% or more over the course of that time period, and the speed is increased at an infinite level. And then for a whole bunch of other kind of reasons, we're moving, as we'll talk later on, there's a new level of, we have the same capacity to make as big a transformation in the next 10 years as we had in those last 10 to 20 years, for a reason we'll get to later on. I think that's the biggest change, though.
That's the biggest change. Well, look, Gary, through policy making and whatnot, you've been able to identify where conventional wisdom holds true and where conventional wisdom no longer holds true going forward. Technology, other areas, as you see government.
Okay, we'll stop right there. So think about who this gentleman is. Glenn Hutchinson. The SEC calls Glenn Hutchinson to come to talk about the state of the securities market, regulation. Why would he invest in Ripple? Why? Why? If he's been studying fintech like I have, when I was in banking school, they switched us to financial technology during banking school. Fintech is massive, Warriors. It's massive. That's what I keep saying. People are going to get left behind. The political theater is being put out there. When the SEC sued Ripple, it was to shake out the retail investors. It was also to let the rest of the marketplace know we're coming for you. And if you're not solid, you're gone. So be careful, Warriors, what you're investing in. Make sure you understand the real world solve. Make sure you understand you're buying a company. Make sure you understand the leadership team. Make sure you know the key players like Glenn. Think about it. Brad Garlinghouse is on the committee on the World Economic Forum for cryptocurrencies. So I'm not an XRP maximalist. I'm somebody who believes in what they do. I believe in their company. I'm holding strong. I'm buying more. That is the solve, Warriors. If you understood banking at the level that I do, you would understand that XRP is the solve. There's a lot of cryptocurrencies that are the solve, Warriors, but I want you to understand the game, though. I don't want you to understand the cryptocurrency. I want you to understand the overall game and start to listen how my brain works, reversing engineering everything and watching the playing field and watching what the theater is doing. And so I can watch the theater and I can see who the actors are and I can see what's going on backstage. So I can know exactly what the next play is. So my name is Coach TV. I believe I'm the top health and mindset coach in the world, and you should believe you're the top person in the world. If you want to join my Warrior Academy, first you can go down and join our free Facebook group. We go live every single day. Or you can jump right into our Warrior Academy where I show you my crypto portfolio. I'm not a financial advisor. None of it's financial advice. I just show my warriors and document my journey. You see my exact portfolio. I don't play games. Also, we have a cryptocurrency call every single Thursday where we do technical analysis, and we have a Discord in our private academy that has much smarter people than me in it, sharing ideas, technical analysis, different projects, things going on, and you can ask questions to a group of almost 300 warriors, 9 different countries. So we're here to help the people become the uncommon 1%. It's time to stop being played, and it's time to understand the game. Warriors, rise! Let's go.